morning, Ifako. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, planet Earth. Here we are from Ifako Radio, live on Ifako Radio, bringing you the news review for today. My name is Victor Kolade Adogbajale, and here with me is...
I am Olanireti, Olusegun. Good morning.
Mr. Olushegun, good morning. So, we are bringing news from the Vanguard newspaper today, and the headline says, Nigeria dead before Tinubu took over. I wasn't the one who said this. It was Nyesom Wike, the Minister for FCT, who said so. While acknowledging that Nigeria still faces serious challenges, Wike had said the president has taken difficult but necessary decisions that will help the country recover. He said in his statement, the country was dead. It takes our decision to bring it back to life. We are aware that we have challenges, but just after 2 years of a country that has been run down, we expect a miracle worker. It's not like a prayer where you say, in the name of God, you are healed, and it happens instantly. It doesn't work that way. So, Nyesom Wike is saying that Nigeria was dead before Tinubu took over. Well, I believe he didn't mean this literally. He was saying it in a very, very idiomatic way, because if Nigeria was dead, definitely there wouldn't be election to bring in the Mr. President. But do you think Nigeria was dead before President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over?
Anyway, meaning resides with the user of the words.
Exactly.
And the FCT minister will be in a better position to expatiate on what he actually meant. But what I want to note is that Nigeria was under the All Progressive Congress for 2 dispensations before Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over. I would just want to underline that. And if peradventure he felt the system was not going well, and I want to reamend, rearrange, redefine, there's nothing wrong in that, which I believe that is what Wike is trying to say there.
Okay, well, my own opinion, I don't think Nigeria was actually dead. Maybe Nigeria was slow moving, and then because if Nigeria was dead, there wouldn't be any successful election, and there would be emergence of any presidential candidates because we would have just been living in anarchy. And he further said, let me use this opportunity to address the church. We nearly made the worst mistake in 2023. We must be careful this time around. It would have been a decision that would have cost some of us our future. I think here he was trying to address the Muslim tickets, which some maybe Christian leaders have frowned at.
Yeah, it is even far beyond that, because when they look at it, yes, they frowned at it, but the choice of words. Opposition parties also fielded candidates, and it was like, okay, those ones also turned to churches, and they were trying to monopolize the church. So that is the main issue I want to believe that Wike is talking about. While the other sects, naturally, people we want to assume, yes, they have hold on Islam. So we have, I just don't want to mention names. Those that come to churches and were saying, don't let them turn this nation to an Islamic nation, and at the same time, using some unpleasant words that would generate it at that time. So clergy leaders or clergymen should really watch it.
Okay. So I believe anyone who is interested in getting better and fuller details of the information should go on the Vanguard newspaper to read more about it.
Yes, I will also be coming from the Nation newspaper, and also on Wike's case here. Okay. The headline from the Nation says, why I am in Tinubu's government by Wike. Actually, I see this FCT minister as somebody that is very humorous. Yeah. Sometimes I think maybe he should take leisure in a comic whatever, stand-up. Yes, he's very good at that. So whenever he speaks, it makes us laugh. While I am in Tinubu's government, with the rider, FCT minister urges Nigerians to pray for Tinubu. He was talking about religion, but here he's asking Nigerians to pray. The FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, said he joined President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration because he was sure it will give Nigerians dividends of democracy. Wike assured fellow Nigerians that most of the nation's challenges will soon fade out. The minister urged fellow Nigerians to be patient with the current administration. Wike spoke at the Thanksgiving service for the successful completion of projects and the inauguration at the Diocese of Abuja Anglican Communion St. James Church, Asokoro, Abuja. So President Tinubu, he said, has achieved a lot within 2 years in office. In synopsis, what he is saying is that we should continue to support the president in prayer. He believes, yes, in 2 years, the president has achieved so much, though there's high expectation. Nigerians are still expecting, because when Asiwaju came in, with the way the economy of the nation was, people expected a drastic change immediately. But we know that miracle don't happen that way. But Nigerians are still waiting. Wike has also spoken, and everyone will want to take him by his words that the president is actually working.
Yeah, I think according to Wike a few days ago, he also said nobody is a miracle worker. We are all politicians, according to Wike. And he also said nobody should just live in isolation and believe in propaganda that is being spread outside by people who are in apathy. That we are politicians, call on us and you will get better information about whatever you want to know. Well, I think I will agree with the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration have actually achieved quite a lot, but then the expectation is higher than what we are seeing. I think that is the mentality of the masses presently, because people need the 3 basic amenities: food, clothing, and shelter, yes. And these are not looking favorable on the part of the masses. So road infrastructure and every other infrastructure, it's fine, but then we still need to.
Things just have to get better. And the area where we can say the color knows that will answer you. I hope it is that simple. Because sometimes you raise questions and you don't get answer for donkey of years. And a situation whereby you don't even have access that then, if not for social media, that everybody can rush to and drop their comments. Maybe we wouldn't be getting answers at all.
Yeah, I think I would say, yeah, thank God for social media, and also thank God for the 3 tiers of government also, and all the cadres of government from the grassroots to the federal. At least even if you can't reach out to the president, but from the grassroots, you should be able to reach out to our councillors, local government chairmen, and all of that. So, still on the Vanguard newspaper here, I have something here which is like an alarm. It says, enough of siren abuse. Enough of siren abuse. It is not uncommon to see many non-governmental and non-agency and unauthorized vehicles blaring sirens on road, despite laws regulations stating who is entitled to the use of sirens. The blaring of sirens has become an unfortunate symbol of impunity rather than emergency or lawful entitlement. To restore order on Nigerian roads, regulation and enforcement of laws on the use of siren must be decisive. Those who are allowed to use their use as spelled out in section 154 subsection 14 of the National Road Traffic Regulations 2012 as amended. So I think, yeah, this is very, very true, because we observe that today even some celebrities, noble people use their sirens just to create awareness why they want to go through the road. Meanwhile, there are some critical bodies, particularly ambulance, that need to use this siren. So when a lot of people, when you have the purchasing power to get a siren or to get a pass for siren, you use it on the road and people pave way, even when we have vehicles that are carrying sick bodies going to the bed, but they don't have access to sirens. They see that, okay, there's an ambulance, or they feel there's an ambulance coming, they try to pave way, and unfortunately they discover it is one celebrity that is going for a show. I think we need better regulation on the use of siren, or let me say the abuse of siren.
I strongly agree with you. That has quite been abused for more than necessary, because in a situation whereby ambulances are even on the road, people tend to ignore them, believing that they don't take them serious. And in situation of emergencies, that may lead to a negative vibe, because those that should be using sirens are not taken serious just because people have been abusing it. Prominent personalities, acclaimed celebrities. And if there is a regulation that come up with a steep penalty, I think they want to sit up. We should do something about that.
Yeah,
as a matter of
particularly,
acceleration.
and particularly for the fact that it disrupts the flow of traffic. A lot of people on the road of Lagos today, they complain about traffic, getting late to work, and all of that. Just because of someone, maybe a celebrity, going for a show or going back to his house after a show using siren, or sometimes political leaders and all of that.
On the other parts too, let's look at the Nigerian police force. Talking about the traffic flow. When you are in charge of enforcement, you should also ensure that you lead by example. They tend to abuse this as well. It is not in all situations that they have emergencies, but when there is a traffic in place and people are following a regulated or stipulated rule, the police themselves, the MPF, tend to violate it. You see them doing, sometimes you see them going on one way. And when they do that, they are only giving a signal to others that you can as well tow the same path. And you see some police officers trying to lead some personalities too. We saw on social media recently, and the NPF put it up on social media that they are going to investigate that. Up till now, we've not gotten anything. Some police officers running after a particular celebrity while she was jogging, which shouldn't be. All these things, I think they should look into it.
Yeah,
so that
it's not promoting well the uniform, which should be regarded with high standard.
At all. Still on the nation, the headline says Natasha poised to resume at Senate tomorrow. Natasha poised to resume at Senate tomorrow. And the writer says Senate will study judgment on senator before acting, says spokesman. Suspended Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has announced that she will return to the Red Chamber tomorrow to resume her legislative duties. On March 6, the Senate suspended Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months over alleged gross misconduct. The decision followed the adoption of the report by the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions after the Kogi Central Senator's altercation with Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Akpoti-Uduaghan had filed a suit before the Abuja Federal High Court seeking to stop the suspension. And while the judgment was delivered, Justice Binta Anyako affirmed that the power of the Senate to suspend any members, including Akpoti, delivering the judgment on Friday, Justice Binta affirmed the power, of the Senate to suspend. But the court altered the duration of a suspension, describing it as overreaching and excessive. The court maintained truly that yes, when a member of the chamber you can suspend such person, but 6 months was just too out of it. And whether we like it or not, she has spent 3 months back in her constituency. And with the present judgment, I think that has been yanked off. I only hope the upper legislative chamber we obey the judgment of the court and accommodate her. Both parties, I want to believe they must have learned their lessons. I am not saying this is the right party now, but in every situation like this, there's party A, party B, and the side of the troops. And so many things is hidden to us Nigerians. We only be reacting based on what we hear and what is being published on the pages of the national dailies. But nevertheless, I think at this juncture they should sheet their sword. The people of Kogi Central have also suffered enough. They need to have their voice at that upper chamber. They need to be adequately represented. Whether she was wrong or not, she has been away for some months, not less than 3 months. So I think they should respect that court's judgment.
Yeah, I think I would like to throw the line of your point of view where you said there are other things we might not know, just what we have on the information of the daily news. Well, since you have said there are always party A and party B, so I think they should just come together to an understanding and then reach a resolution so that such does not happen again. And then, since we are having coalition here in the political parties, why not let us have coalition? Exactly. So that's what I'm just thinking. Well, on the Premium Times newspaper, this is more relating to young people. UNESCO Millet train youth on media literacy ahead of Lagos LG election. With days to the local government elections in Lagos State, 14 youth-led organizations across southwest Nigeria have received training on media information literacy to strengthen civic participation. The workshop held in Lagos from 1 to 3, okay, from the 1st of July to 3rd of July, was organized by the Media and Information Literacy and Intercultural Dialogue, that's the MILID Foundation, in partnership with UNESCO and the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development. It was themed Role of Media and Information Literacy for Youth in Democratic Process and aimed to equip participants with skills to think critically, verify information and engage ethically in digital spaces. The workshop featured sessions on the role of media and information literacy in democracy, conflict, gender-based violence, content creation, fact-checking, and verification. Yeah, I think I would like to say this is a very, very big one because we can't underestimate the role of media in influencing politics today, particularly looking back at the last general election.
Most especially when it involves the youth.
Exactly. Looking back at the last general election, whereby we have several banters and several Twitter voters. People didn't actually go to the polling to vote, but then we're making
they participated on social media,
on Twitter particularly
247.
And if care wasn't taken by people, then they will have danced to the tune of people who were not even voters card carrier. So it is important that we use the digital space, but it is more important we use it well and effectively.
Yes, this sensitization is good coming at these points, most especially when it will add value to the youth. And I have to applaud UNESCO there, the organizer, as well as the Lagos State Ministry of Youth. As a matter of fact, the Ministry of Youth in Lagos State, they are doing wonderfully well when it comes to youth activities and affairs. They want the youth to get better at all times. Recently, we learned that about 14 of them will be going to Canada, just on leadership and what have you, to acquire more skill to this or that. So this is a good one, and we want to appreciate them.
Yeah, I think we need to appreciate specifically the governor of Lagos for allowing young people to take the mantle of the leadership of the youth space in the Ministry of Youth, headed by the Commissioner Honorable Kolade and the Permanent Secretary, Pharmacist Mrs. Olusegun.
And that is what we're talking about. When you put a square peg in a round hole, you won't get results. But when you put a youthful person in charge of his generation, then he understands the language. He knows what they want, and he will be held responsible. He
relate with them better.
That is it. And that is why Lagos State, most importantly for youth, is at best now. So I'll still proceed with the Nation newspaper, and the headline here says, JAMB releases mop-up exam results. The writer says that board clears over 8,435 in fake admissions letters probe. Board clears over 8,435 in fake admission letters probe. I think this has done a lot of harm to so many people. I saw in one of the not on the dailies, on social media, Facebook in particular, a particular student about to graduate with distinction, and they faulted his admission that he got a fake admission, and that wasn't detected 4 or 5 years back.
Until the end of the year.
That is a serious error. All these due diligence should be done at the inception, so that nobody will fall victim of anything, and no school will be tagged as a merciless organization. So the story says that the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has released the result of its mop-up Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination held on Saturday, June 20th. In a statement yesterday in Abuja, its public communication advisor, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, JAMB confirmed that the results of 11,161 candidates who sat for the mop-up exam have been released out of 96,838 who were scheduled to participate. Candidates who are not able to assess their results have been found not to have fully complied with the instruction to send whatever. But I'm afraid this margin is just too old. It's just too old. If 96,838 students participated, and we are just getting a confirmation of results of 11,161.
And
What is the
right.
fate of others? That's crazy. I think JAM really need to sit up, do something about that. We're still having over 85,000 students
Right. Yes, exactly.
that
Imagine.
won't know the next step to take. Their fate hangs in balance.
I'm considering the fact that JAM is just once in a year. So
Yes.
whatever happens, but they know what happens
Mm.
about their admission into the tertiary institution. And talking about the information you saw on Facebook, that is quite weird.
Seriously.
They didn't detect until the close of the admission.
And the guy in question happened to be the best student from that department.
That's that. I think there should be a waiver for that because it is not the guy's fault. And perhaps for you to have gotten admission, into school, then definitely there are some information on your admission letter that would have been related with the school because you will need your JAM registration letter to
Sure.
get a username and all of that. So the information on the admission letter would have correlated to a certain extent for the person to even get a matric number because without an admission letter, you wouldn't be able to pay acceptance fee and also get a matric number. So something is still fishing somewhere, and I hope this guy in question gets a favor, maybe from JAM or from.
And I will join you there. I want to add lips that whosoever is in charge, the constituted authority, for God's sake, should give such a waiver because he has proved himself beyond reasonable doubt to be the best outgoing from that department. Then, if he's not good at all, it's a different case entirely. If he's an average student, it's a different case entirely.
So obviously, he has used that
He has
opportunity
proved the
judiciously.
Exactly. Yes, I want to proceed still on the Nation newspaper, but this is a light one because it's coming from the entertainment world. And the headline says, there are times I don't love my husband. And this is coming from Olanireti. There are times I don't love my husband. I don't know the reason for that. But let me quickly look at the text. Seasoned actress Olanireti has spoken about the realities of married life. Yes, I want everybody to underline the word reality. Realities of married life, revealing that even in a loving relationship, there are days when she struggles to understand why she's in love with her husband. So, for those that are planning to get married, this is coming from an experience that
It's one of the courses you have to study.
life is not a bed of roses, and if you ask everybody, they will have their own fair share to tell. There's always this great part of every relationship, marriage, or what have you. Omotola, who is in a nearly 3-decade-long marriage, that is about 30 years, to her husband, Captain Matthew Ekende, in a conversation with Jude, they were admitted to having moments when she questioned her love for him, but emphasized that it's her faith that helps her navigate these challenges. I hope my wife is also listening. So when situations like that arise, and she should just see it as one of those things. And this is also going to all married men outside there and married women too. Sometimes you don't get the best of what you expected, but that is life. As a matter of fact, it is not everything we ask God that we get. We need to understand this. So let's see how well we can manage our situation.
Yeah, as that information is quite weird, it's also funny and interesting because I think there is a plot twist there. The first thing was that sometimes I don't love my husband, according to Olanireti.
Yes.
And another part says, according to what you read, she also said she doesn't know why she fell in love or something. Yeah, I think there's something. Well, I do not have so much experience in this, but then I think there is something interesting that is always known, that when you are in love with someone and you don't even know the reason, that is the true love. Because if you are in love with someone because of her hair or because of her dimple or because of her diastema or something, then if that thing fades off, then the love will fade off. But when you don't even know the reason why you love someone, then definitely that is the true love. And perhaps only God can love us unconditionally.
But for you to say you don't have too much experience in this area, but no doubt there is experience, and I'm quite sure going forward you come live to tell your story. You get there. God's willing.
Mr. Shegun, on Business Day newspaper, we have a news about the just concluded public hearing. So we have clamor for more states, local governments, women's seats, other top constitution review. So the news says the clamor for creation of more states, local governments, special seats for women, state police, and other demands topped the agenda on Friday at the commencement of the public hearing in Southwest for the review of the 1999 Constitution. Stakeholders in the region at the well-attended public hearing in Ikeja called for creation of more states, local governments, state police, and the inclusion of constitutional rules of traditional rulers. Declaring the public hearing open in Lagos on Friday, the governor Babajide Olusegun urged the Senate committee to reviewing the Constitution and participants to be guided by principles of inclusiveness, equity, and justice in making input into the Constitution amendment. Sanwo-Olu, who was represented by his deputy Obafemi Hamzat, listed some of the nation's challenges. Well, I think firstly I would like to commend the Senate for putting this up, and also commend the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yeah, it is an information that was widespread, just like a wildfire.
So, and you also participated in the hearing.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Shegun, I participated, and by God's grace, I was able to, together with my young people, we were able to deliver a memorandum. So, but my experience there was that for all programs like this, for events like this, there should be a more solidified information ahead. Because if there is no proper information, we have several stakeholders in the government, and then not all the stakeholders were covered, if I must be sincere. But then with what was concluded on Saturday, we started on Friday, I think they really tried, because we had in participation the traditional rulers of the Southwest region, former governor of Ogun State, that's Governor Benga Daniel. We have senators from Southwest, or New of Ife was around, deputy governor, and well-attended event, if I'm not sincere. It was well-attended event. But then we are the twist, we always request.
So despite the non too effective information, according to you, you still adjudge them. They tried.
Yes, it was well attended, particularly by the traditional rulers. But then I think there was still room for more. There was still room for more. We still needed more youth groups to participate and all of that. But I think one of the things I was able to point out from that event was that the government is trying to do a lot of things, particularly the creation of 18 more states in Nigeria. Also, particularly, I think there are some peculiar to the Ogun states, like the creation of Ijebu State. The clamor for the creation of Ijebu State. The Ondo people clamor for creation of new coastal states. The Oyo people clamor for 2 new states from Oyo. I think one was Ibadan State. It was very, very funny when I heard Ibadan State. And also another one, New Oyo State, to be coined out from Oyo. So we have Oyo, we have Ibadan State, and we have New Oyo State. And in Ogun State, we also have Ogun State, we have Ijebu State. Then in Ondo, we have Ondo State, we also have New Coastal States. So, and what have you got? The funny part is that growing up, I remember when we usually state and capital, I just don't know the level of confusion that we go around primary school.
I was telling somebody recently that we used to have Gongola State. And now, all those things seems to have disappeared with this creation. Yes, when they create small, they tend to have a better development, get into all nooks and crannies. But you were directly involved in that activity, you participated directly. So it's not just about what you're reading from the dailies, and you represented your own constituency, which were the young people, so they had their own voice being heard. Now, from the headline there, or the content of that story, there is another angle that personally I'm not too comfortable, and this is strictly personal. No offense to the women gender. You see, I don't believe in gender advocacy or gender discrimination. In all fairness, a situation whereby some women will come forth and they will be telling you there must be equity in this, in that. Yes, if there is equity, why are they asking for preferential treatment?
God bless you, sir.
So if they're now asking for preferential treatment, that means
you understand that there is no equity.
God bless you.
So we want to consider you on preference or just put you on little consideration.
God bless you.
Because sincerely speaking, well, this is also on personal point of view, my own personal point of view. Sometimes when I tell people I'm an advocate, and I'm saying this on there, I hardly advocate, I hardly show up where they do gender equality and all of that, because we have to just come to realization that if we want to be equal, then everything has to be equal. In a situation whereby people want to contest for a position, and you say the male are going to pay 100% of the fee, and then female will pay 50% of the fee, then
that is it.
Then this same female that will consider to pay just half of the fee will still go outside and say, yes, we are equal, what a man can do. Why didn't you pay 100%?
And the benefit from that office will also be the same thing.
Do you even know that we have WAPA, that Ministry for Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation?
And there's no Ministry for Men Affairs.
We are here to see Ministry for Men Affairs. We have at the local government level, we have at the state level, we even have at the federal level. We have several CSOs advocating for women, and the truth is nobody is stopping them.
Victor, and if you ask me, in all fairness, those that should be given preferential treatment. Yes, the youth is okay, it encompasses both gender. People with disability, it is understandable. It could be anybody, both male or female. But for some people to maintain a particular stage and say, you must. No, I'm afraid. No. Yes, this is also a light one, and it is coming from the entertainment world. It says, why I abandoned law to pursue acting. That is coming from Femi Adebayo, and this was his own choice. Renowned actor and producer Femi Adebayo has recounted the moment he chose acting as his true calling over law. Adebayo, who earned his master's degree in law at the University of Ibadan, said he was working as a lawyer, earning 20,000 monthly, while acting was just a hobby. However, speaking with Post, he said when he received an acting offer, worth 50,000 naira for 3 days, he realized acting was his passion.
That was his calling.
That is what money can do. And seriously, if we look at it, what's the essence of it? Is one thing to have passion for something. It is another thing for you to be able to take care of yourself and your to deliver in the areas of your responsibilities. As a lawyer, he was working, getting 20,000. A lot of legal practitioners have such negative stories to tell. Yes, for some, it is a sweet story now, but is that the case for everybody? And for acting, just for 3 days, if we get 20,000 in a month, he will go to court. He will answer to all
constitution,
sleepless nights, and what have you. And just to act a role for 3 days, he got 50,000.
And I'm sure even accommodation and feeding will be covered.
God bless you. And some juicy distractions too. But you can never be distracted in law.
That's very interesting. What money can do. Money can make you realize your true calling. Yeah. I think being I've known earlier, I think I told one honorable that I would have joined football because when I discovered Cristiano Ronaldo will be receiving an equivalent of 1 billion naira per day.
So much for
it was just like I was receiving an inspiration that you should have come for I can still join under 18. Okay, I think I will be using this as a wrap up for my own side. The Punch newspaper, the 2027 election, we are having coalition crisis brews as ADC chairman sets terms for alliance. Coalition crisis as ADC chairman sets terms for alliance. The collapse of all structures of the African Democratic Congress, as announced by the former chairman Ralph Nwosu, to enable new leadership to drive a coalition of forces ahead of the 2027 general election, is not sitting well with some state chairman of the party. A coalition powered by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar announced the adoption of ADC as a platform aimed at thwarting the second term bid of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Okay, says Nwosu further issued a statement announcing the resignation of all party leadership positions to enable the David Mark led interim executive take charge of the affairs. Well, I think this is just one thing we have been observing from a quite long week now and number of days. Yes. Coalition, unity, and all because of the next general election. So I think there is tendency now that the presidential candidate for PDP, Atiku Abubakar, will be joining or will be coaliting with ADC and some other prominent members of the party and also the PDP. So let's just look at what unfolds as regards ADC.
And on that, Peter Obi is also following the same path, and he has recently spoken that he's running for presidency. He's not going in alliance with Atiku Abubakar, the former VP. They've done that before, and eventually they went separate ways. And he wants to maintain that, believing that he has what it takes. And he's been assuring the North that he will take good care of them. They should trust him to drop their own Atiku Abubakar.
And they've been carrying for a couple of years.
And finally, from here to I want to drop this, which is a breaking news, and from the Tribune newspaper. And the story says, Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Olakuleyin is dead. Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Olakuleyin is dead. The Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Olabi Olakuleyin, has joined his ancestors. Tribune Online learns that the monarch who ascended the throne in July 2024 died in the early hours of Monday, which is today, July 7, 2025, after spending a year on the throne. The demise of the Oba Olakuleyin, born July 5th, 1935, is coming barely 2 days after celebrating his 90th birthday. That means he celebrated his 90th birthday on 5th.
Just 2 days ago.
Yes, he was 89 when he ascended the throne, and he only stayed for a year. He ascended the throne in the month of July. He was born in July, and he also passed in the month of July. We want to register our condolence with the good people of the Ibadan city. We know there is always an arrangement. They have their own arrangements, a succession plan. Who takes over? So there shouldn't be any tussle about that. Though there was tussle before Olakuleyin ascended the throne, and the issue was basically because a particular party felt he was ill and not fit enough to ascend the throne. Eventually, since it was an arrangement, he did, whether you're fit or not. He was the next in line, and we say, may God rest the soul of the departed and console his family, and also uphold the city of Ibadan.
Yeah, I think would I say thanks to the gods of the land, I won't allow him to use at least about 1 year because now he has gone to meet his ancestors, and now he has become an ancestor also.
Ancestor himself.
Ancestor himself.